Okay, quick refresher on how to solve an equation in vertex form. Okay, so this is a quadratic equation. Generally, for quadratics, we're going to have two answers. Okay, and there are some exceptions to that, but in general. So when we think about that, we're going to get the plus or minus here. That's the one that you want to be careful to remember. Okay, so I'm going to solve this just like I would solve any equation by trying to get the x by itself. And so you want to work your way you want to start with the thing furthest away from the x and get to the thing closest. Another way to think of that is we're going to do PEMDAS backwards. So order of operations helps us evaluate, and then going backwards allows us to solve. Okay, so I'm going to undo my addition and subtraction first. And of course, we stay out of this locked box. Plus 8 plus 8. And we get 5 times x plus 2 squared equals 15 plus 8. And that's going to be 23. And so then I'm going to still try and get x by itself. I got rid of my addition and subtraction outside of the parentheses first. Next, I'm going to get rid of my multiplication and division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 5. Now, this doesn't go in evenly, but that's fine. You can round to the nearest tenth. So we get x plus 2 squared equals, and when I get my calculator, I do 23 divided by 5, and I get 4.6. And now I'm at exponents and parentheses. Well, this exponent I have to undo. And the opposite of squaring something is square rooting it. Just like the opposite of multiplication was division and the opposite of subtraction was addition. So I'm going to square root both sides. When I do that, the square root makes the root go away, and we're left with x plus 2. When I take the square root of 4.6, I have to think of the plus or minus version of that, because a number in here could be positive or it could be negative, okay? Because when you square something, the negative goes away. So I'm going to take the square root of 4.6, and if I round to the nearest tenth, it's 2.1, okay? And then I'm going to still try and get x by itself. So I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. When I do that, I get this number plus or minus 2.1. And what that means is that there's two answers. So I'm going to get negative 2 plus 2.1, and I'm going to get negative 2 minus 2.1. Negative 2 plus 2.1 is going to be positive 0.1. Negative 2 minus 2.1 is going to be negative 4.1. And what this means is that for this equation, whatever the equation looks like on the graph, it means that the graph is going to cross the x-axis when x equals negative 4.1, like about right there, and it's going to cross at 0.1, about right there. So however low that goes or whatever, it's going to cross at those 2 points. That's ultimately what we're finding when we find our answer.